known. So we only have one, I would call it good supplier in Europe, and that is in Italy. So that is called Butterfly, I believe. So that is, from my point of view, the only dealer which really have very good support and have really fair prices. Otherwise, in Europe, Vela and Ersa is well known. So, as I told you, this is not so much known, and I was not familiar with the Hekko system, so it was a bit of a try, but I really can tell you I'm highly satisfied with this system. I know that there are discussions if you know here the menu is easy to handle. Yeah, and I agree. So with the stars and this and that is really a little bit funny, but to be honest, also here my hot air station, you may have settings, and you already see this is now the actual setting, and I can also go down and I can confirm it, and now we are here on let's go on 350, and if I like to go up to 390 or even to 420, you know, that is all what you need to do. You confirm it here with a star, and now it is fine. The same is here with the air, right? You can simply adjust it here as you like it, and then you confirm it with a star. So, to be honest, that is really no big deal. So you do not need to program it every day, but I agree to program the Hekkos is not the easiest what you can get on the market, but once you have done your own setting, it is really easy. And here, if we use here our station, so this is now set to 300 degree, okay, and now if we start the station, right, you see it is coming up quite well. You may say the quick is faster, but I don't believe it, because the quick is very fast showing the final temperature, but I have measured this. What you see here on the display is really the temperature which is available here at your handpiece. So the B version is really not slow, and I've compared it with the Quick, because a friend of mine is using the Quick, and no doubt the Quick is nice. It is a nice station, but you know, it is not really faster if it comes to heating up to your dialed in temperature. And once again, if you want to change the airflow, you press air, right, and then you confirm it, and you have the wanted airflow. And the same is, you go down, you confirm it, and fine. So you put it back here to the station, right, and everything is simply fine, no problem whatsoever. Alright, so therefore, if you have once programmed it, it is just fine. Then there is, of course, another complaint that you can't easily stack your rework components one on top of the other, and that's true. I do not really understand why Hakko is doing this kind of housing, because we really need our bench place, and therefore we need to stack it. I mean, you see, I have solved the problem, but for me it is not really logical that they do here a kind of designer housing, so that is not really useful. Well, but when it comes to quality, I mean, this station is putting out 1.1 or 1.2 kilowatt heating power, so it is really very hot, so you can go up to 600 degrees C, which is really, I believe, one of the hottest stations you can get. Well, once again, the Quick is not bad. I've compared it with the one of the friend of mine, but you know, it all pays off after, I don't know, 20 years. I mean, I have my Weller 20 years, and the other one, I believe I have 30 years, and I still get all the spare parts. So if my heating element is down, or if the hand piece is broken, or if you need another spare part in your base, I can get everything from Weller and from ERSA. And I know that you can get everything from Hakko as well. So 30 years ago, you bought your Hakko system, you still get all the spare parts, and that is finally where you know, a system pays off. I mean, it is not here in Europe, it is not so much more expensive. I believe the Quick is 350 euro, and this is 520, I believe. So it is not a huge difference. But in 20 years, when I get in 20 years a spare part which may cost me, I don't know, 30 euro or whatever, right? And I can fix here my Hakko, then it already has paid off, because we really do not know if you get in 30 years or in 20 years or even in 10 years, you do not know if you get spare parts, and therefore I rely on a good brand, on a valuable brand, and if it comes to performance, I'm really happy with both, with the hot air station and with here the soldering station. It is really high quality. There are some weaknesses, so no doubt, but all in all, I'm quite happy with my rework arrangement here, and I only can highly recommend it. It is really nice. Okay, but now let's go over to the Rohde & Schwarz, the CMS, and that is, I believe, what you are interested most in. So yeah, let us zoom in that we can see it a little bit better. Okay, so you know, this radio communication service monitor cannot really do much more than here my CMT. Okay, so both are radio communication testers, which goes up to 1 gigahertz, whereby here my CMT starts at 100 kilohertz, whereby the CMS is starting at 400 kilohertz. So from that point of view, the CMT is even more equipped. But the problem is with the CMT. It is now almost 30 years or so. It is really getting old, and I mean that is not the problem. The problem is that a lot of parts are not any longer available. I mean, some parts are still available from Rohde & Schwarz, but there are already some hybrid amplifiers which are not available any longer, and if you need one of those components, you are really in trouble. And therefore you really need to think how you can handle it. And one point is you are simply trying to move on onto a newer system, and you hope that your old tester, your CMT tester, will still survive for a couple of years. But finally, the CMS is the last fully analog radio tester, and you still can get, to my knowledge, all the parts which can go faulty. So if there is really a problem, I can call Rohde & Schwarz, and they can finally deliver me with the needed spare part. Additional to that, you may already have seen it, this tester is capable to do all the SSB tests. I mean, I have done all SSB testing with my CMT, so you only need to know how you can do it, and then it works. But here with the CMS, it is more convenient, right? So you can do your TX testing, and of course you can do your RX SSB testing. So you simply dial in your frequency, and you dial in the mode you need, and then the tester is doing all the rest, and you do not even think about it that you have SSB radio on the bench. So that is really, really convenient, and that simply makes you faster, and that is really nice to have here something which helps to make your what you're doing on the bench simply easier. And we have of course some nice automatic functions present as well. So let me go here into a normal RX test, and I have here a little handheld on the bench, and let's set the RF frequency, and what you have dialed in you can see here, and then the tester will take it over, and you already see, let me switch it here to dummy, and you already see that we have all our results already present, and that is really nice. So you see that I'm feeding here with minus 95 dBm, and on a VH radio minus 93 means an S9 level, and so we should have here a nice receive, and we have. So now the radio is set here to distortion, but we can switch it here to Synod as well, and you see we have here a pretty nice Synod, and you see here a nice and clean sign, and of course we can listen here to the tone, and that is really nice. What I like as well is that I have here more parameters directly in the view. On the CMT I have to switch over to get all, the informations. So for instance, if I'm increasing here my IF level at the radio, so you directly see that we have here now more output from the final stage, the audio final stage, and you still see here our Synod, and you have nice automatic functions. So for instance, if you're interested in the sensitivity, so let's for instance look for our 12 dB sensitivity. So if you see that we are here on the Synod setting, and you can see it that we have the arrow here, right? So that is always where you are in your menu. Now I can simply say 12 dBm, right? And you see already that the radio is decreasing the signal, and you see that we have here a problem. The tester is telling me check installation, and yeah, so that is right, because radio, what I have here on the bench, has switched on squelch, and with switched in squelch, the radio is of course not able to find the 12 dB point, because if the signal generator is going down and down and down, at a certain point the squelch is simply switching off, right? And then the tester is confused, and that is because here the tester is telling check installation. And that is true. So let me now switch off my squelch, and let's do the same test again. Alright, now I've switched off my squelch, and now we hear the noise, and you can see it here as well. So now let's go back, and you see now we are here on that setting. Let's go back to, let's say minus 93 dBm, and you see that our radio is going back to minus 93. You see again here a very nice Synod, or Synod, however you want to pronounce it. And now with the open squelch we do exactly the same. So we have to go back, of course, to Synod, and we tell the tester look out for the 12 dB point, and again it is going down, and you see that the tester is telling us search ended normally, right? What we can see here is that our Synod, and of course it is now bouncing around a little bit because we are in the noise again here, right? You can hear the noise, and you see here the noise, but still our signal is present, and it is really a nice, really a nice Synod. So this radio is really sensitive with minus 153. So that is simply awesome. Bye. Can that really be true? I don't really believe it. Why? Let's double check it. And for young players, that is really